When it comes to maximizing fat loss, the first step is becoming fat adapted. We want our body's preferred fuel source to be fat, not only because it helps us to burn more body fat, but also it significantly reduces our risk of disease, and it also helps us to function at a more optimal level. Now, the approach that we've taken so far has been to lower our insulin so that we can reduce our fat storage. So remember our FedEx delivery guy example. So the combination of lowering insulin and depleting glycogen is what makes it easier for our body to access fat for fuel. For this reason, we like to take a lower carb approach to our nutrition plan, one in which we will eliminate all processed carbohydrates and opt only for those carbs that come from the earth, and restrict intake of those carbs to somewhere between 30 and 90 grams a day. As well as consume the majority of our calories, 50 to 70% of them, from fat, with then a moderate amount of protein, which usually equals out to somewhere between 25 and 30% of your calories, even though we're not fixated on your calories, just for information. But from a nutritional standpoint, this is the fastest way to make ourselves fat adapted, especially when combined with intermittent fasting, which we're going to do a full training on that later on. So moving on, when insulin is low, glucagon is secreted. And this is important because we want more glucagon. When glucagon gets an opportunity to play its role, we should be shouting for more. Why? Because it does what we're all here for. It helps us to burn fat. And it does this by breaking down the glycerol in fat cells into glucose for fuel. It also acts as a signaler to your fat cells to release fatty acids for fuel. So in many ways, it works like a light switch. The only trouble is when insulin is turned on, glucagon is turned off. Now, not only that, we should be making a concerted effort to eat more protein, which will guard against muscle loss, allowing us to maintain a healthy metabolism. Not that we are concerned with you losing muscle during this process. However, naturally, as we age, we do lose muscle. So we want to do everything we can right now to prevent that from happening. But also, when you are in this fat adapted state, eating higher amounts of protein will increase glucagon production. So research by Dr. Bickman has found that when someone is in this fat adapted state, when they are insulin sensitive, the addition of protein actually helps to increase glucagon production, or at the very least, it helps it to remain normal. Lastly, we should be putting a lot more focus into two underappreciated areas: water and sleep. So when we are in a state of dehydration, and it doesn't have to be significant dehydration, just even a modest amount of dehydration, or if we have an electrolyte imbalance, it can dramatically slow down all of our other metabolic functions. Similarly, being sleep deprived or having your circadian rhythm thrown off, either because you use too many electronics at night, or you're not on a regular sleep-wake cycle, or you're over-caffeinated, your room is not dark enough or cool enough, or because you don't have a comfortable bed or pillow, all of these things will throw your hormones out of balance and can lead to insulin resistance. Part of maximizing fat loss is being proactive. So through your first 2 to 6 weeks of this program, you'll be doing a lot of unraveling of the things that led to you gaining fat in the first place. And quite honestly, even after you've turned the corner, you should still continue to work on getting into a deeper state of fat adaptation. However, once you solidified yourself in this state, meaning you can miss meals or go hours without eating, you don't get hangry, you can work out fasted if you're exercising first thing in the morning, or your energy levels are stable throughout the day, and you no longer crave carbohydrates, especially sugars, and you no longer experience brain fog and have greater mental clarity, then you can start thinking about going on the offense. And when we talk about going on the offense, the primary aim of your offensive effort will be to prevent plateaus. And we'll be getting into that in your next module.